The tugging stopped, so I turned around to see a small woman stood in the kitchen doorway.
Ooh.
Then, in a voice I'd heard hundreds of times, it whispered in my ear, "Hello, son."
That night, I slept over again on the pull-out couch we'd bought for the simple reason of me being there so much. My baby asleep next to me in his basket. All was peaceful, until the living room door slowly creaked open.
As we got closer to Luke, he jolted his head into our direction, locking onto my eyes with what I can only describe as two giant black holes in space. Welcome to episode 122
of Ghost Hands. Oh, that was beautiful.
So in sync
from us.
When's your period coming? No.
We're really out of sync now.
Are we?
I think we were at one point to the minute.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'd gush and then you'd go, I've leaked. It was really.
Oh, that honestly nearly brought my harissa fucking chicken up. I never say gush and leak and
Yeah.
I really regret bringing my period up.
Yeah. No, I'm I think I'm a week. I'm a good week off yet.
Me too. There you go.
Fuck, we're sinking.
Yeah, bitch.
We're severely sinking.
We are severely sinking.
Into the fray.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm very good, actually.
I think it's been a while since we've seen each other
I
face to
know.
face. Was it book club? Patreon book
it
club. Was that the
was.
last time we saw each
we
other?
got pissed and
Oh my God, we
slagged
got
off.
pissed. Can
left
I
only.
put a double date to you, please?
Yeah, go on.
A double date proposal. Can you and Neil come to Stoke and we'll all go to the Flintlock?
What's that?
It's a Michelin star restaurant.
I thought it was like a
because it's in
nature
Stoke-
reserve.
No.
I was like,
No,
yes!
but there is a canal.
Yeah.
And then there's loads of countryside and like pubs.
Do you know what? Can I add on to this?
Yes.
There is a nature reserve there with beavers in it. And do you know how much I love beavers? And this is the year of the beaver, by the way.
The year of the beaver.
It's the year of the
The year of
beaver.
my vagina.
Yeah, it literally is. Because they've reintroduced them all around the UK. And I did a bit of
yes.
research, and there's a place near you in Stoke. It's called like Trent or Tenby or begins with T.
Torquay?
Trent?
Well, I don't know. A bit more specific, please.
Why don't you know it?
Hang on, I'm going to have to fucking
Hang
find
on,
out.
Beavers.
Well, me and
Stoke.
Adam could go for a Michelin star meal where you and Neil go to the Beaver Sanctuary.
Trentham.
Oh my God, that is 10 minutes from my house.
Yes, there you go.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
well, come to Stoke.
Yes.
We'll go and see the beavers in the morning.
Yeah.
We'll then go for a Michelin star lunch. Because also, listen, right, this is a life hack. Because it's in Stoke-on-Trent, it's not that expensive.
Oh, that's
So we
nice.
can go to Michelin star restaurants and not
Yeah.
feel guilty. I mean, it's
for their
absolutely
lunch
delicious.
menu as well.
Well, I think it's the same price as lunch and dinner. But I do like a lazy Michelin star lunch and then you go to the pubs afterwards.
Oh, really nice.
And his cocktails are out of this fucking world.
Really?
Out of this world. I got
Flintlock, eh?
shivers. Amazing.
Ooh.
That's my proposal to you and Neil.
Yeah, we're up for it.
Lovely.
I will speak on his
We're
behalf.
coming and we're going to Romania.
Oh my God.
We're all going to Romania. If Hannah can remember a passport, we'll find
that
where it is.
WhatsApp group went to shit. I was like,
Has it died?
well, you're in it, so you do know it's died. I'm
wasn't
that
looking at it at all.
dickhead who started the WhatsApp group, and I'm the organised one because I'm
Yeah.
not complaining about that because I'm quite controlling.
Yeah.
So I need to be like, okay, we're going to get this flight
Oh, it's
at this
because we've
time.
got loads of weight limit options, and my head just went.
I know.
Cannot.
Everyone's head did that. And I was there on
Yeah.
the website about to book, and I was like, so guys, which baggage do we want? And then someone went, oh God, what an airline? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's not an answer.
Yeah, very stressful.
And then
I'm
I
really
just
worried.
left it. I just left it because I was like, okay, well, we'll just have to.
I
The
will
price
respond
might
to
go
that
up,
today.
and that's okay. If the
I will
price
respond
goes
to that
up,
today.
but
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Romania's a bit of a.
It's a bitch.
It's
She's a bitch.
She's a tricky bitch
She's a
to get
dirty little
around.
bitch.
But I did look at flying into Bucharest. Anyway, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're going to Brancastle for the Patreon ghost hunt. Very exciting. A lot of
Very
cash being put behind this. Actually, we're really investing into
Yeah.
our careers, which I'm all for.
Yeah, we're just throwing money at Transylvania.
Oh,
So-
love it.
And any Romanian Huns, if you want to let us know,
yeah.
we're going to Cluj,
Cluj.
or I don't know how you say it.
Isn't
Cluj?
Bird Box a really funny name for a vagina? It's good, isn't it?
Is it a name for
No, I've come up with it. To be fair, I think Adam may have come up with it, but I'm going to coin it.
Okay.
My bird box has got a rash. Got a rash on my bird box.
That came out of left field.
My bird box is massive.
Is it? Okay. Well, we're all learning something today.
Sorry.
I need to tell you about the. I went to an exhibition about tarot.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's that about then?
So basically, there's a what's it called? The
Obviously, really resonated.
Warburg. I keep getting this wrong. I think it's the Warburg Institute, and I never knew this place existed. It's like in Euston, and it's this tiny
Texas
little like
or London.
What?
Oh yeah, you went there. Sorry, I thought you were good. I didn't realise that you was. Yeah, sorry. Carry on.
Yeah.
Ignore that. I really, really messed that up.
No,
just popped over to
apologise.
Texas.
No, so it's like a research. So only researchers and people with like a membership can get into this library.
Sounds
and
culty.
It holds the biggest collection of occult literature in like Europe.
Oh my god!
Because there's this bloke in like the early 19th century who like amassed all these books about spiritualism, tarot, occult, like the cosmos, and he collected all these books together. And because he was like a Jewish banker, he was like ousted from Germany. And he was like the safest place for this place to re-exist is in London. So they've opened up the Warburg Institute, and it's for basically if you're like a researcher, a scholar or a writer, you can go in and there's all these books that don't exist anywhere else, all about like witchcraft.
Right. And did you take Neil on a date to here?
No, I went with my friend Freddie.
Oh, right. I was going to say.
That's how I heard about it. He was like, how have you not heard about this? And I was like, I feel thick. And he was like,
yeah.
But then we went, but we should go.
Definitely,
because
yes,
it's a free. By the way, it ends in end of April, and it's a free exhibition. It's just a free exhibition, so you can't get into the actual library part unless you're like a scholar or a writer or you have your membership. But the gallery is free, and you can get in, and you just have to book it online. So I really recommend it. And
we should go.
But it was really weird because we turned up, and the security guard was like, "You have to be on your best behaviour now," and we were like, "Okay." And he was like, make sure you behave.
Yeah, no problem.
We're like, all right. So then we go through, and then this sort of hipster looking like wafy guy was like, hi there, you here for the tarot exhibition? We were like, yeah. And he was like, just so you know, could you both be on your best behaviour? And I was like, what's going on? How would you like...
I just responded really badly to that.
How would you translate that? Because I was like, have people come in and just trashed the place or like...
Best behaviour is a really weird way to word it. I was like, I would be like, go fuck yourself, and then I'd throw like an egg at his head. Yeah,
well, this is why they have to tell you to.
I don't respond well to that.
I know, but I just wondered what has gone down in the tarot exhibition. It's so... It's so low key.
People just smearing feces up the walls.
I was like, have people in society got a problem with tarot? Do you reckon it's that? Like some religious nut-nuts?
Yeah, maybe nut-nuts.
Do you know what I mean, though? I was like, who's destroying that? Anyway, it was very strange.
Very bizarre.
And there's all these like old like depictions of tarot and where it came from, and it was like a card game in like the Italian Renaissance.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Lovely. Very biblical.
And we should go, and then we can record our little take on it, and then people can listen as they go round.
Oh, yeah, like a little walking
audio
tour.
guide.
Audio guide.
We should do the Huns audio.
This is one tarot. This is the next tarot. Thanks very much.
That's the Hierophant.
That's been Ghost Huns now. Cheers, bye. That sounds lovely. I'd love to go and do that. Could I slag off the film Hereditary?
Yeah,
please. Absolute dog shit. I'm finished.
So is this the one with
Tony Collette? Everybody has been fucking raving about it.
Yeah.
I got recommended it to loads of people on Instagram. They're like, this is amazing. And do you know what? It starts off really promising. I was like, this is going to be
premise? Like, lay it out
It's this
for me.
woman whose mother's died, and she's also a miniature artist, which is mental.
What does that mean?
So she like makes those little doll houses and paints all the little, for whatever reason, like for doll houses or for like little, what's the word when you're doing like a model of something to show you what it's going to end up like at the end? Like houses.
Oh, yeah. Like,
kind of.
Like, okay, yeah.
There is a word for it, but I can't remember what it is. Diorama. Thank you very much, Tim.
Really?
It's a diorama, yeah.
I've never heard of that in my life.
That's exactly it. Thank you, Tim. And her mum dies, and listen, if you're going to watch Hereditary...
Spoiler alert.
Her daughter's got autism, then she chops her head off a crow, dies, but actually it's quite brutal. Yeah, listen to this, right? She's got a nut allergy. So she goes to this party. She has a piece of cake while her brother's getting fingering someone in the next room.
Nice.
She eats the cake, has a allergic reaction, never carrying a fucking EpiPen. He gets her in the car really quickly to drive. She puts her head out the window, and her head gets taken off because it smacks into like a telegraph pole. Then he drives her home like all like traumatized. Gets in the house. He goes in the house, just leaves a headless body in the car. Then her mum finds it the next day. Anyway, everyone's traumatized by it. Then it all gets ridiculous. There's people with the cocks out. It turns out that it's just a big cult that her mum was a part of. But they set up so many, like, oh, that's an interesting twist.
Right.
That's like she met this other woman that was like, oh, I'm a medium, I can do all this. Turns out, and then she finds photos of her with her mum, and it's like, oh, what could possibly be happening? Turns out they're all just in one big cult, and I think that's a cop out.
Oh, so there's no like coming back from the dead. It's just cult.
No, I think there is. It's like there is coming back from the dead.
I thought it's supernatural. It is, but it's not explained. You just kind of see these entities. There's one really scary bit where the camera follows him walking into the room, and you just see the mum like in the corner on the ceiling. Like, that did give me the shitties, to be honest. Yeah.
That did give me the shitties.
That would give anyone the shitties.
It did.
Yeah.
But the rest of it was utter drivel. And it's another one of these things that people have started doing where their art is for them. It's not for anyone else. It's for them. Because if it was for anyone else, leave all the cult shit aside, give me a nice little twist, and keep the ghosty stuff coming. Because it was quite scary. Because every time because the girl had like a tick, and she'd go all the time, and then like he'd be in his room, and then he'd just hear her next to his ear, and that was really scary. But then
I like things like that.
Then everyone's got the heads cut off, and it's just ghosts with the heads cut off in a cult, and like it's never really explained, and it's just like, oh, do you know what we'll do? We'll just make all of them into a cult, and that covers all our bases. It's lazy.
Oh, it's lazy storytelling.
Lazy storytelling. Yeah. I wasn't into it.
That's very. Have you started our new book club book, by the way?
I haven't. I am planning on starting it this weekend.
You're going to be obsessed.
Have you read it now?
No, I've only just begun. Oh, but I'm
only just
fully in.
Really?
Like the whole thing starts with them being marooned on a windswept cold island, and like that's
that's very nice.
Alley,
yeah, I like that. Yeah. I'm going to get a nice glass of wine.
Yeah, I would say on the pod what the name of the book is, but. It's called I Remember You, but it's by
an Icelandic author that we're not going to ruin.
I don't know.
Tried.
I tried.
As I'm going, we're not going to ruin it. Sue's going,
SARS to Iceland.
Is that culturally inappropriate?
Yes.
Sorry.
I have to tell you about this amazing thing that happened the other day.
What?
So, for one of Neil's Christmas presents, I got him a ticket to see Six, the musical.
Oh, yeah.
Because... I think he'd randomly found a song from it and was like,
We're Six.
And he was like, it's really catchy. And I was like, that would be a really funny present to me. And I booked like the row is called AZ because it's right at the front.
Right.
It's front
my God.
row. You're literally like their skirts nearly like
That's
graze your fucking nose.
How much were they?
It wasn't that expensive. It was like 44 quid a ticket.
Oh.
Honestly, it's so good, right? And so it's the Six Wives, and then Jane Seymour.
Yeah.
I was like, she's so pretty. And she had these like amazing like grey silver eyes. And I was I was absolutely obsessed with her.
My eyes watering. I do apologise. Carry on.
You're crying for my amazing story.
I do remember. Yes, I love Six so much.
Have you seen it?
I went to the press night.
Oh, yeah.
It was I really enjoyed it.
And
yes, I mean, listen, I enjoy
House of Holbein.
Yeah, I don't mind. I did enjoy it, but I couldn't go again.
Oh, really?
Because it is all music. And I don't know.
I think because it was such a sensory overload being on the front row, you had no option, but like you're fully, I didn't have any thoughts.
Yeah.
I was just there like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anyway, so right at the end when they're all leaving, Jane Seymour goes like, does a little heart thing with her hands and it's like, oh my God. And I thought it was a bit. I thought she was just being nice to the front row. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I feel really special that she's like, oh my God, hi. And then she also say, and I was like, I literally said to Neil, I was like, oh my God, like Jane Seymour made me feel really special because she did a whole like little heart
Look
thing.
at you.
And he was like, oh, that's really nice. I was like, yeah, but it was probably just something she does to people in the front row.
Yeah.
Then on the Ghost Huns Pod Instagram, her name's Hannah. She wrote a thing being like, oh my God, I saw Susie on the front row of 6. And she apparently shouted, like, I'm a ghost hun or something, or I love ghost huns. Didn't hear that at all.
Isn't that mental?
It was insane. Because honestly, I couldn't stop talking about her afterwards. I was like, she was my favourite. She was so good. And like, and then she wrote in and I was like, and you're crying.
And I'm crying. Thank you so much, Hannah.
I know. Shout out to Hannah. All of them were amazing.
I'm going to have to look at who she is.
But she was so. It was so.
I wonder if she was in the.
I was buzzing. I just couldn't believe it.
Oh, I've just slagged off 6 as well. I didn't mean that.
No, you haven't.
No, I didn't. No, I enjoyed it. I can't do too much music.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it when I saw it. I thought this
so
is really,
good.
really empowering.
Do you know what was also hilarious is because Neil was like, okay, we're on the front row. And I was like, yeah. And like the woman who plays like Anne of Cleves, she does this bit where she's like, she comes down right to the front and she's like, come on.
Yeah.
And she gets someone dancing. And like, it was the woman next to Neil. And I think we would have got divorced if he...
Do you think so? Would you
yeah,
not have
I'd be
enjoyed
beheaded. If he had been forced to stand up and dance.
You beheaded, thrived.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like...
Oh my God.
So glad that wasn't him because he looked terrified.
Oh, bless him.
but
Oh,
it was
that's so...
great.
Thank you, Hannah from 6.
Hannah from 6.
How stunning.
And all of the Huns in that. They were all so good.
Aw.
But yeah, I felt like a celebrity had noticed me.
Their outfits are stunning. I'm obsessed with them.
They're all stunning as well. Like, I was well close up to them. I was like, God, they're all glowing.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
I love the theatre. Have you got the tarot cards?
Oh, I do actually.
We are gonna do. We better get started. Before people keep fucking slagging us off.
Yeah.
Those cunts. No, I'm joking.
Everything's just spilled out my bag.
I've developed. I wonder if you can tell me what this condition is that I have. It's not a rash. It's
being a bellend.
It's being a bellend. I've got this thing where, particularly my clothes, if I can't locate something, I get upset and I will not rest until I find them. And if I can't find them within a day, I'll order another one.
Can't find what? Sorry,
an item of clothing. Like last night, I thought I'd left my blue fur
money
coat.
bags. She's like, I can't find my dress.
No, this isn't.
I'll just buy another.
No, this isn't something that this isn't even something that I'm like, oh, throw it away. I'm like, I have to have it. And if I don't, I'm just going to have to buy it again. Well, what's really annoying is I bought this coat. It's like 120 quid.
What is it?
My blue fur coat, I'm obsessed with. Thought I'd left it at Adams, got to Adams, nowhere to be seen. And I was like, it's fucking gone. I've left it at that gig in Hitchin. Couldn't believe it.
Oh, no.
Texting mum saying, will you please just check downstairs? So I ordered another one. Anyway, she texted me this morning saying she's found it.
Oh, you can return it.
I can return it. But it was, Adam was like, you've got something going on there because I do it all the time.
Really?
Even stuff that I'm not that bothered about. There's a pair of sports shorts and I was like, I can't find them. I have to order some new ones exactly the same.
I don't think that's that weird.
Do you know, I didn't even love those shorts, but I was like, it's part of my collection. I must have them.
Okay. Yeah, that might be
weird.
An undiagnosed something
mental illness
or other.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cast aspersions of what that is, but now she's picking a tarot. So I would hazard a guess it's ADHD.
Oh, that was...
Oh, go on, girl.
There's 3.
Oh,
right, which
pick
one am I gonna go?
Pick one.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. What is it?
Oh, the Ace of Swords.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What were the other 2, just out of interest?
So, the Ace of Swords. What? Tell me which way.
It's a fist. Oh, it was upright. It's a fist holding it's a fist with a cloud coming out of the end like a big fart, and holding a sword with a crown atop and some leaves coming off it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is
that
this
looks
a good
nice. It represents the rational mind and its ability to discriminate.
As I've just talked about how mental I am.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it says, was it in the upright?
It was in the upright.
Advises you to be steady. You
Right.
are about to reach your objective. Concentrate on making your impact. This could be your moment. Your eye is keen, your grip is firm. Let that arrow flies.
Oh, God,
Let
flies.
that arrow flies. They don't
Someone's
know how
done
to
some,
fucking
honestly, get an editor.
go to school.
Get a fucking editor. Jesus Christ.
If you set aside distractions and hit your mark, you'll be rewarded with insight and clarity. It's not a time to hold back or worry about the consequences. When you access this level of truth,
Obsessed.
you're likely to cut through all illusion and nonsense.
Oh, lovely.
Stunning.
On that note, would you like a story?
Yeah, and also, FYI, Huns, this is another Creep of the Week.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a Creep of the Week special. Cow.
Creep of the Week special. Creep of the Week special.
Hi guys, I've thought about contacting you for a while because I have been hooked on all of your podcasts this year and wanted to share my own with you. Thank you. It was 2022 in January and we had a 6-week-old baby at the time. My husband felt like we needed some time away, just the three of us to bond and connect. It had been a busy Christmas the month before with never-ending visitors and a lot of pressure to show off our baby. That's quite a baller move going away in January, isn't it?
I think it's the best time to go away.
I think it definitely is. Next year, I want to go away. I want to leave the country the day after Boxing Day.
Well, when you go away, I have to go away.
Well, we'll
so
do that
fine.
then.
Bali? Do you want to go Bali?
I would love to.
Yeah, we should do
I
that.
would love... Shall we go to Bali on the day after Boxing Day?
Yeah, I'm free.
Oh my God, shall we actually?
Yeah.
Shall we plan that?
Yeah, I literally could book it after we record.
Shall we?
Yeah. You're literally my business partner, so if you're free, I'm free.
Oh my God, tax deductible. Ha, lol, joking. Just in case. Oh, I had a fucking penalty the other day in the tax office.
What?
I'll tell you later. Anyway, sorry. With hindsight, we should have never aimed for the Highlands from the northeast of England, which is an 8-hour journey with a 6-week-old. But having always been keen to travel, we set off to stay in a cottage near Plockton, which is a cute name, isn't it?
I actually really respect the parents who are just like, do you
Oh,
know
me
what? We'll
too.
travel anyway.
Yeah, you should.
6 weeks old?
Why not?
Papoose them up.
Why-
Off
yeah,
you go.
why
I think
not?
Your sister did that with Freddie, didn't she? She went to like Taj
Yeah, she
Mahal.
went to. They went to India. She went to
India.
Amsterdam with him on her own.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah,
really...
it's nice.
I like that.
I think it's the other way to stay sane, personally.
Yes. Carry on.
On the way up, however, my husband had found a hotel in Loch Lomond. Oh my God, I stayed. That's where I did wild camping, Loch Lomond.
Ticks aplenty.
Ticks, loads of ticks.
Loads of lime.
Yeah, Matt's living with Lyme now because of that. He's a survivor.
Living with lime? It
Hashtag living
sounds
with
like
lime.
a really bad sitcom.
It's like that charity in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills where they do dentistry for the homeless, and it's called Homeless, Not Toothless. Homeless, not toothless. It is so fucking outrageous. It's so out of touch.
Also, I am 100% going to watch Meghan Markle's cooking show this weekend.
Well,
I'm on it. I can't wait.
I've seen the clips and I already feel
she
ill.
turns to one of her, she gathers her friends, and one of them walks in and she goes, "Oh my God, you're so tall." Imagine saying that to one of your best friends.
You're like,
"Oh, you're tall."
yeah, well, it's the only time you're not looking at your fucking
Hilarious.
self, is it? No, listen, I haven't got an opinion on Meghan Markle.
I just think it's going to be so funny.
I don't care what anyone thinks about Meghan Markle, right? Nobody, the royal family should have never treated her badly because of her race. Absolutely not. 100%
Yeah, of course
out
that's
of order.
bad, yeah.
And it's wrong. However, you cannot deny that Meghan
Personality
Markle
is a personality, isn't it?
is fake as fuck.
Oh
She
my
is
God.
so.
It's
she
going
is.
to be the best fucking weekend viewing I think I'll ever have.
Oh, it's
I'm going
yeah.
to settle in, have a wine. And
Are
just
you?
I just can't wait to be like, sometimes I just want to make a rainbow with a melon. I'm like, do you know what? When you know the world's falling apart and how I always talk about how World War III's coming. This is the perfect viewing.
Yeah, she did an interview where she was like, "What I like to do to be present in the moment is record myself reading a children's bedtime story. And then my husband, don't know if you've heard of him, Harry, he will show my children the video before they go to bed so that I can always be present." And it's like, what? You've recorded yourself 3 days before. Shut up.
Oh, it's
Shut up.
So good.
Really
so
funny.
good.
Anyway.
Okay, sorry. Loch
Right, so anyway,
Lomond.
this lovely couple, are off to Loch Lomond with their 6-week-old child. On the way up, my husband found a hotel in Loch Lomond where we'd stay the night. We pulled into a well-known hotel chain on the shores of the loch. It looked a bit like a massive Victorian... Do you know, I've seen this, I'm sure, that's creepy. In which you'd imagine a very rich family would come and escape the city. Our room was on the top floor and along a bit of a warren of corridors. We thought that it must have been the old servants' quarters by the route to get to it. However, we didn't think much of it. it, as we'd asked to be away from the other guests in case the baby woke them up in the middle of the night. Very considerate. It was about 5 p.m. when we arrived, and with it being January, it was very dark. The room itself was lovely, massive and very homely. The bedroom and bathroom were connected by a big landing, which was freezing, and as we got in, we both said we didn't like the landing, it just felt off. By this time, the baby was fussing quite a bit, so I'm looking for a dummy to soothe her while we bring everything into the room. We couldn't find the dummy at all. I'm looking in all of her bags and in a pram, and I honestly just couldn't find it. I moved her blankets out of the pram as gently and carefully as I could because I'm scared it'd drop on the floor and we'd have to sterilise it all over again. Fucking hell. This just sounds like a nightmare.
It's never ending.
I mean, I've eaten shit off the floor.
Have you?
Yeah, if I'm eating stuff off the floor, my baby can eat stuff off the floor. Have you never eaten anything off the floor?
Yeah,
that you
but
dropped?
3-second rule.
I don't mean that you found when walking down the street. You're like, oh, a bag of discos.
Like, nom, nom, nom. Yeah, 5-second max.
Yeah, and if
rule.
I can do that, so can my fucking child. Anyway, I pushed the pram into a small alcove opposite the bed so it was out of the way. The baby's cries intensify, so I'm getting myself ready to feed her by climbing onto the bed from the side. My husband has stood at the foot of the bed with our daughter laid on the bed. All of a sudden, the dummy flies out of the pram with so much force that it hits the wall and falls to the floor. We both saw it, and I felt utterly compelled to say thank you aloud. I wasn't scared, I actually felt calm, like someone was trying to help. During the night, I was feeding Florence in bed. Oh, what a cute name that is.
Cute.
I was feeding Florence in bed and I heard a shh.
Oh no, that gave me chills.
But it was a gentle shush, almost like trying to calm a baby. That did freak me out, however. I was awake because I'd had trouble feeding Florence and it hurt, so the minute she fed it was painful, so I wasn't dozing or anything like that. On our way back home a few days later, we went past the hotel again and talked about that night, and we both agreed we couldn't explain it. I did a quick Google of the place and basically found out that the butler, who was loyal to the original family, had killed himself when the money had gone and they'd had to sell up. We always said afterwards that if you can't find something, who's the one person who could? The butler. Thank you for reading about my little experience. I hope it intrigues you. It did. Keep making your shows. It gives me a good giggle on the commute. Kind regards. I'm not going to say who it is because it sounds like anonymous.
Can you give one letter?
B.
B.
That's from B.
Oh
Isn't
my
that
God.
spooky? Shh.
Yeah, I don't like
would
that.
shit in my panties.
Yeah, we'd all go shitties.
We'd all have the shitties.
Shitty shitties.
I'd have the shitties.
Okay.
Have you got one for me?
Oh, do I? This is from M. Hey, ladies. I've been a long-time listener all the way from New Zealand.
Love that.
And I've wanted to tell you this story, but I didn't know how to, so I'll try my best. Names are changed for this story, and I'm sorry if it's a long one.
Oh, love that.
This story is based in England, where I worked in a rehabilitation unit, mostly for people with broken spinal cords, but a few other different cases too. We had a gentleman who was there, let's call him Luke. He was 36, a slender man, no more than 10 stone, but he would sometimes get angry, but a generally nice man. We had a rule that 3 people would be in all the rooms due to the severity of their injury. Lifting dead weight doesn't do wonders for your back. One day, we were short-staffed with only 2 carers, so we had only myself and Lucy to do his cares. Armed and ready with gloves and an apron, we both went in, leaving the door open slightly for a quick exit if the nurse needed our help. As we walked in the room, it smelt like death.
Oh.
The air was so thick, it was like you were breathing with thick fabric over your face. Lucy and I looked at each other as she mouthed, "This is bad." Luke was lying still at this time, so we thought he'd met his maker.
Oh, God.
How wrong we were.
Oh, my God.
As we got closer to Luke, he jolted his head into our direction, locking onto my eyes with what I can only describe as 2 giant black holes in space. What the fuck? I thought to myself, walking closer to his bed. "Do you hear that?" Lucy asked me. It took me only seconds after the quiet I heard a low, deep growl coming from the direction of Luke. He's been doing this before?" I reassured her as I'm thinking he certain has not made this noise before. We start to try and get closer to him, but as we got closer, I noticed the growl had changed into a mixture of growls and murmurs.
Oh, like... bird box.
Yeah, bird box.
I've got a massive vagina.
What's he saying? Lucy asked me, and she took a step forward. Suddenly, he jolts towards Lucy's side of the bed,
God.
staring her down, then back towards me. Lucy's shitting herself, takes 2 steps back and almost stumbles on her own feet. What's wrong with him? She managed to fumble out of her mouth. She managed to fumble right out of her mouth. How did you fumble out of your own mouth?
Sounds like a sex act.
What's wrong with him? She managed to fumble out of her mouth. Before I could even answer, things went from creepy to unearthly.
Oh my God, what does that mean then?
Luke had started to raise his voice louder, still with the deep gravelly tone, but nothing was making sense.
I thought you meant like just really high pitched.
What do you mean?
Like defying gravity.
Defying gravity. Eyes still locked onto mine, his words started to sound like a rhythmic chant. His body started to recoil and jolt in ways that would be impossible for an 8-year post-spinal injury. He's never been able to move his legs, let alone his back, I thought to myself, as Lucy rushes round to the side of me. Within a blink of an eye, his hand lunges at my arm, digging his nails in so deep it breaks my skin. His strength is ungodly, nothing like I'd experienced before with him. Lucy's trying to help me get this bear trap of a grip off my arm. She starts shouting for help as we both scramble our hands to free me. Lucy's getting scratched by his other hand, and she lets go to hold her arm, and within seconds of this happening, his chanting becomes louder as he spits at my face and snarls between words.
Oh.
I suddenly manage to get my arm free, losing skin, falling back on the floor, scuffling backwards. Our Romanian nurse rushes in and shouts, get out now! As we both hurtle ourselves through the door, she quickly slams it behind us, leaving Luke to himself, still speaking in tongues. Both Lucy and I are petrified of what we'd just witnessed. Neither of us answered the nurse. Lucy with tears rolling down her face.
Jesus.
Why? What? She trembled. We were both quickly escorted to the nurse's station, where we both got patched up. I needed 2 stitches in each nail mark. It was that deep.
You can go home early though.
Yeah, clock off.
I'd be thrilled with that.
And we were given cups of tea that actually neither of us touched. We had a few days off to try and deal with the mental aspect of it all. Once we came back, Luke had been transferred to a different hospital at 9 p.m. at night. We later spoke to the nurse who was on that day about what had happened. She told us she didn't want to freak us out, but he was talking in Latin, saying, "We will never be saved, and I will kill you and everyone you love."
Oh.
And lots of other horrible blasphemy.
Well, I love no one, so joke's on you.
Safe to say, after that horrible ordeal, I left that job and worked in retail, a whole other nightmare in itself. It's the closest I've ever had in my life to a demonic spirit. But I'll never be able to get his black, solid eyes and chanting out of my head. Sorry for the long story, and I hope you have a great day.
Oh, that's creepy, isn't it?
Isn't that horrific?
Oh, girl!
I know. Just like the idea of someone being completely... Like, he couldn't move his back. And he's like fucking snapped up in bed.
Oh, yes, I forgot about that. I didn't even realise about that.
You look like your eyes are streaming.
I don't know why. It doesn't hurt. It's not sore. It's just I'm just emotional. I'm emotional today.
So there you go.
Oh my God, I love that.
Thanks, New Zealand.
Do we want another?
Yes.
Hi girls, just got into the pod videos on TikTok and I'd love to share mine and a friend's story with you. It all started in my friend Kay's old house. She had 2 young girls, ages 3 and 2. I'd just had a son of my own who was around 6 months old when this started. Being a new mum, I spent a lot of time there with her and the kids. It was a pretty normal 3-bedroom terraced house. They are always the ones you've got to watch out for, actually.
What, terraced or?
The normal ones.
Normal house,
the normal looking houses.
I thought you were coming for terraced houses. I was like, fair.
Terraced houses.
Fucking terraced haunted houses.
Well, terraced houses are terrifying because you can hear everything because everyone's around you. Yeah. But it was a pretty normal 3-bedroom terraced house, but it was space away from my prying parents and company for me and my little one. One night, the kids were all asleep, so me and Kay sat watching television, some reruns of stupid reality TV shows, when we heard footsteps on the stairs and crying. It was Kay's eldest daughter. We'll call her Star for the story's sake. Star came into the living room sobbing, saying that there was a man in her room telling her that she needed to jump out of her bedroom window and was directing her towards it. We brushed this off as a nightmare and sent her back to bed with some cuddles. Nothing more happened that night. I'm surprised as a ghost hunt, Kay, that you didn't immediately have the shitties. No, sorry, this person isn't Kay. Whatever. She needs to jump out of the bedroom window. Nothing more happened that night, but more often than not, the nights following the same thing happened. Until one day, middle of the afternoon, we sat in the living room and heard a smash.
Jesus fuck.
Shaken, we went to check what it was and found the porch door, which was a wooden frame with glass centre and a giant hole in the bottom. A toy box had gone straight through it. Like someone's just chucked it, I guess. We turned around to Star at the bottom of the stairs, giggling hysterically, looking to her left side, muttering to somebody, but no one was there. Convinced it was Star's doing, we spent a while trying to speak to her. We realised quickly she definitely wasn't responsible. Once we looked at what had happened, the force it had to take for Star to throw a toy box from the top of the stairs was completely unreasonable. She was 3 after all. That night, I slept over again on the pull-out couch we'd bought for the simple reason of me being there so much. My baby asleep next to me in his basket. All was peaceful, until the living room door slowly creaked open. A shadow on the living room walls, convinced it was Star, up again after a nightmare, or the strange man, as we nicknamed him. So I got up to comfort her, taking my phone with me to send her mum a video to wake up to in the morning. To my surprise, it wasn't Star. There was nobody there. My phone still recording, I ran to the bottom of the stairs to see if she'd quickly darted back up to her bedroom, hearing me get up, worried that she'd be in trouble. But still, there was nobody there. When I checked the video back on my phone, as I approached the bottom of the banister, you can see a small, thin shadow dart around the banister pole and up the staircase. I was unsettled after this and decided to leave and go back to my parents' house with my sleeping baby, still sending the video to Star's mother so she could see for herself when she woke the next morning. A few days later, we're back at Kay's house. Not just us this time, though. A few of our friends had joined. We were all messing around, being young and having fun, winding the kids up a bit. It was about 6 p.m. when the kids all left to go to their fathers, leaving just us adults there. That was when things took another turn. We started to hear things being thrown around upstairs. I watched some packaging from a toy fly across the room right in front of my face, inches away. And then we kept hearing bangs, screams, shouting. We got seriously freaked out. So all of us ran out of the house and into the safety of one of our cars. From there, oh, this makes me feel ill. From there, we could see the bay window of Kay's bedroom. In that window, we saw 2 figures. One tall woman with long dark hair. Meghan Markle's, mate. You're
so
tall. One tall woman with long dark hair, and in front of her almost a mini version of her, which we all assumed to be her child. But behind them was flickers of tall flames. We'd seen enough. We drove away to my parents' house, and from that experience, it was rare I went back to Kay's house. She moved out not long after. We still see each other and speak of these experiences often. Before moving out, Kay enlisted the help of a psychic medium who we'd visit together in the past. He was immediately drawn to the stairs where Star sat talking to her friend each day, the same stair the toy box was launched from. His activity did not seem to slow after this. Kay involved paranormal investigators who were drawn straight to Star's wardrobe. They told us there was an old decrepit man who slept there, and he was telling them about the window and jumping out because of a house fire. Some Googling told us that there had in fact been a house fire at her address, but not much else as to whether there were any survivors.
Oh my God.
The paranormal investigators also told us it was partially mine and Kay's fault. As before these events started happening, we'd opened the attic to store Christmas decorations in, and in the Kay's attic, that was the meeting point for the spirits. Mostly good intentions, however, from the man from Star's room. He was the only one trying to cause any of us any harm, and we'd realised... hang on. And apparently we'd released them into the rest of the house after the attic being sealed shut for countless years beforehand. I won't ever get over this experience because it was me who went in that attic. I'm terrified to this day that the spirits are latched onto me. I still hear bangs no matter where I am, but I have to put this down to old buildings. Thank you so much if you took the time to read this, and even more so if it makes it onto the pod. Hope to watch you for years to come. Love, Cerys.
Oh, Cerys. It's not your fault. You went
It's
into
not
an
your
attic.
fault.
You're allowed to go into an attic.
Yeah, it's your mate's fault. I mean, I would never go into an attic, but...
I love a paranormal investigator to be like, yeah, you brought this on yourself.
That's your fault.
You were wearing a short skirt, so of course they came after you.
I hate him. He sounds like a dick.
Yeah, oh God.
Petrifying, isn't
The
it?
idea of seeing like flames licking behind a creepy old woman.
It's just those figures like...
Oh.
Gross.
Gross. Love it though. Love it. Okay, would you like another?
Yes, please.
This is called Something is in My House and Pretends to Be My Loved Ones.
Oh!
Hi, Hannah and Susie, or Susie and Hannah. You two lovely ladies have helped me through some of the hardest days of my life with your banter and happiness, so thank you.
Oh, that's sweet.
My name is Adam, and I love the pod, and I have 2 stories for you two.
Oh, yes, please.
But you don't have to read both, as they are about the same sort of thing in the same house. I promise I'm not one of those men that think that women are tools. Oh, God, we've really shit the men up, haven't we?
Sorry, guys.
Sorry, guys.
Hashtag not all men.
We would never have assumed that, Adam.
No.
I'm not good at writing down my memories, so I apologise if it seems like I'm rambling. This was in my childhood house when I was in my early teens, and I was asleep one night and I had a nightmare that made me wake up. And when I woke up, I heard my door creak open. And when I looked over to my door, it was slightly open, but I could see my sister stood at my door. I knew it was her because she was wearing some tie-dye pyjamas that I got her for Christmas. I figured that she heard me startle awake and came to check on me, as both of my parents are deep sleepers. I said that I was fine, but she didn't respond, so I said her name, but she still didn't respond. I must have said her name so much that I woke my mum up, and she came to check on me, and she opened the door and turned the light on. What happened next still haunts me to this day. She said that my sister called earlier, that she was staying at her friend's house that night. I was shocked. I glanced over to the door, thinking that nothing was there, because if there was an intruder, my mum must have seen them, but I saw the same figure stood in the doorway staring at me.
Oh.
I told my mum to look, but she said she saw nothing there. When I looked over again, nothing was there. The next story happened to me when I was in my late 50s, and I still lived in the same house as when my mum died at the age of 95. She left the house to me and the car to my sister. I was asleep, and I woke up to my dog, a German Shepherd called Jasper. He was licking my hand. He normally does this when his water bowl's empty, so I got out of bed and followed Jasper downstairs to the living room where his water bowl was. I leant over to pick the bowl up when something caught my eye. In the corner of the room, I saw my dog.
Oh.
Curled up.
You said that so funny. That's all my dog.
I saw my fucking
All right.
dog.
Come at me.
Curled up, whimpering in a mixture of fear and pain. If Jasper was over there whimpering in fear, then what was tugging at my dressing gown from behind me? Then
The old reach around.
the tugging stopped, so I turned around to see a small woman stood in the kitchen doorway.
Ooh.
Then, in a voice I'd heard hundreds of times, it whispered in my ear, "Hello, son.
Oh, bitch.
Come and give your mother a hug."
Oh, no, thank you, madam.
But those last few words came out in a deep, gravelly voice. Jasper barked at the figure, and it looked like the figure pretending to be my mother dissolved into the surrounding darkness of the room.
She's been on 20 a day.
The end.
Oh, my
Yeah, she's
God.
on the Marlborough Reds.
That's rank.
Isn't it?
That's rank, Adam.
Come on, give me a kiss. Come give your mother a hug.
Ah.
Isn't that minging?
Minging, yeah. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Hated.
Adam, you've been so haunted there.
Every second
also,
of
I
that.
quite like the like that almost makes me think of that urban legend of the, what's licking my hand if the dog's
Oh, yeah, I did.
dead in
I
the
did
bath.
think that, to be honest with you.
And then it got even creepier. Thanks,
Jesus.
Adam.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, shall we have another?
Yeah, obviously.
Obviously. This is my ghost story. Before I was born, my family was a family of 4. My mum, dad, sister and my brother. And lastly came me as a surprise baby. My brother was a surprise and he went around telling everyone he's a broken condom for ages. When he was about 6.
That's hilarious.
I'm going to tell the story exactly how it's been told to me since I can remember. Just after I was born, my family went on holiday to Spain. They rented a 3-bedroom home for 2 weeks with some family friends. It was nearby the shops, a good area, pool nearby and everything you could want in a holiday home, really. My mum said the holiday started off pretty normal. She remembered that she thought initially the house was creepy, saying there was something just off. That is a thing. That's a theme. You can feel them. You can feel them.
Yeah, and some people are more in tune.
I asked my sister what she thought about it, and she said the exact same thing as my mum, that it was just off. They didn't tell each other at the time, they just sort of got on with it. A few nights passed and little things started to happen. Random noises, the tap being turned on by itself, things being moved. My family ignored it and tried to enjoy the holiday. My dad wasn't much of a believer in things like that, so he just blissfully ignored it. As I was a few months old, I used to cry in the night and my mum used to get up with me, so my dad would often go into a different room so he could look after my brother and sister in the daytime. One night, my sister, in a sleepy state, heard someone come into her room. My dad. As the spare bed was just on the other side of her bedroom, she thought it was just my dad going to sleep in the spare bed so that he could actually get some rest. She said that she remembers rolling over in the night and seeing the back of his head turned over in the bed, all nicely tucked up. The morning soon came around. They were all in the kitchen getting something to eat. My mum walked in with me in her arms. Tough night? My sister asked my mum. My sister said she looked confused and said, no, what do you mean? I heard Dad last night come into my room. Could you not get any sleep because of the baby? My mum's face dropped. No, she was good last night and slept right through, said my mum. My sister said that in that moment, her stomach had turned. She explained that she saw my dad's head all tucked up across from her. My mum initially thought someone maybe snuck in, someone homeless or something like that. Imagine that.
Just in bed with you.
Oh, just in bed with you. Jesus Christ.
But not toothless.
I've woken up a couple of times in bed with a stranger. Just joking. Confused, they both confronted my dad, hoping he would tell them that it was him. He thought that they were joking at first, but still didn't take it seriously. My sister just couldn't shake what had happened, so she refused to sleep in the room or by herself for the rest of the holiday. She ended up sharing a room with my brother, despite him not being very happy about it, but he didn't have much choice. Too fucking right. I won't be sleeping in that room again. A night passed, nothing happened. It was silent. Almost too silent, my sister described. My mum said that night was eerie. She said she felt like it was the calm before the storm or something. My brother was a little freaked out too. He saw how much it was scaring my mum and sister, but he just said that he was ignoring the noises, the lights flickering, the feeling that someone was just there watching. My dad, however, was completely oblivious. The flickering lights were just faulty and the noises were just the house creaking. The next night, something happened which no one to this day can explain, not even my dad. An important note is that before bed every night, my dad used to have a glass of water, so usually an empty glass would be left on the side. After a full day, my mum finally got me settled to sleep in my cot. My cot was next to their bed on my mother's side. My dad always slept closer to the door, as men should.
I heard this off Neil the other day. He was like, "Oh, it's a thing that men sleep closer to the door," and
so that when someone comes in, they're too busy killing your partner so that you can escape. The most gentlemanly thing to do.
I didn't know that because I sleep closer to the door.
I sleep closer to the door actually.
Yeah, and
but
he was like, "Oh, do you don't think that's a like?" Shouldn't we swap? And that's quite a toxic thing or whatever. And I was like,
toxic masculinity.
What are you talking about? I was like, no, I don't give a fuck that I'm closer. I was like, you'd still have to jump up and kill the serial killer anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'd be doing that, to be honest.
I just never heard of that as a thing.
Actually, Adam will, if I hear a noise, I'm like, oh my God, what was that? Adam will just get up and go. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's nice that.
Really nice, yeah, because I'm a pussy hole. After a full day, my mum finally got me settled to sleep in my cot. My cot was next to their bed on my mother's side because my dad always slept close to the door. Because I was sound asleep, my family were downstairs playing a game of cards, enjoying the holiday.
Nice.
All of a sudden, they all heard the sound of glass shatter, and I was screaming. They all bolted upstairs, worried someone had broke in. As they ran into the room, they saw me, a baby, placed out of my cot on the floor, and right next to me from the other side of the room was the shattered glass from my dad's bedside table. What? So this baby has been taken out of the cot, put on the floor, and then a glass is smashed on the floor.
That suggests intruder.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit McCann, isn't it?
It's getting a bit McCann. My family said they were all absolutely gobsmacked. All stood there. Well, actually, yeah, because they're on holiday.
Are they in Portugal? No, they're in Spain. But listen,
not a million miles away, though, is it?
We've just tarred the entire of Spain with the Portuguese
Well,
McCann
to be
brush.
fair, like that is a place where if you wanted to kidnap a child, holiday is
La holiday.
I'm not going to say the best time. That sounds awful. Is
the most ideal and best
probably time. Because like you're not at home. There's foreign police. It's all a bit like
you don't really know the security measures.
No, and oh God, fucking hell. Well, mate, I'm glad you're here to tell the tale, love. How did the glass miss me? Did someone break in? My family said they were all absolutely gobsmacked, all stood there, mouths wide open. I was placed perfectly on the floor, just missing the glass by about 30 centimetres. They were all massively confused. My mum cradled me to stop me from crying. My dad cleared the glass and they just said the wind had blew it. My sister said that they all knew something wasn't right that night. After all, how could the glass have blown to the other side of the room and shattered? And how on earth was I out of the cot when I couldn't even walk? The next day, my family left. They got on an early flight home. However, as my dad and brother waited with me in the car, my mum and sister did the final checks of the house to make sure we hadn't dropped anything. As they were about to leave, they said they heard a coin drop. They looked in the direction of the noise, which was the stairs, and they saw it. A coin stood up, rolling down the stairs. and it stopped right at their feet. They looked at each other and, of course, hurried out of the door. My family got in the car and left and never spoke about it again until I was old enough to ask after seeing holiday photos. I only got told this story when I was a little older. I really hope you enjoyed it. My family to this day still can't explain what happened and it still freaks them out. Thank you for reading. Kind regards, Anna.
So they got tipped.
They got tipped, bitch.
By a ghost.
That is absolutely
the
dreadful.
ghost is like, yeah, cheers, leave now. Here,
Yeah.
have some cash.
I think that is scarier than anything. Something inanimate being rolled to you.
Well, also the smashed glass and baby out cot. I mean, fuck.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
I mean, I'm not a parent, but that would really shit me up shitties.
Yeah, it would suggest that it is ghostly now.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book where this guy is like his childhood friend went missing and he's trying to investigate it, and his friend used to throw a baseball over to his side of the lawn when he wanted to like go and play, and he got up in the middle of the night and he stood outside and a baseball just got rolled to him from out of the forest.
No.
I couldn't actually read anymore. I had to go to bed because I was in Wales in the countryside.
What is this, a fiction?
Yeah.
Do you know, I once read
Really
a
good,
ghost
though.
story. I can't remember where I found it, but it was a true story about I think it was a security guard in this massive building complex that has a gym in it.
Oh,
and he
lovely.
always had to lock up the gym, but he was like, no one was in, like there was hardly anyone that used it. And it was late at night, and one of those, those big medicine balls
No.
rolled. Those
What are you
big
talking about?
Pilates balls.
Oh,
Have you ever
yeah.
seen the big blow up ones? It rolled all the way down, like the middle of the gym,
Oh no.
all the way across.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, and
No
he was
way.
like, "I'll never be able to explain."
Could that not just have been a bit of aircon?
No,
No.
no,
Let's move on.
yeah, really weird. But like he said, there were other goings on in the building. But yeah, it could have been aircon. Let's be
Wow, yeah, it could have been. Yeah.
honest. One more creepy.
Yes. Go on.
Yes, okay. Okie dokie boy.
Gosh, man, I don't know. I think maybe it is the Have. It is
I
spring
think you
now.
got the hay. Yeah, hey. Oh, hey. Here we go. Oh my God, it's so weird. The next creep of the week says, hey,
Oh, that is weird.
Haay.
Maybe
Hey.
they've realised about my Have.
Whoa.
Ow.
Okay. Hey, Huns.
Hey, girl.
Love the pod. Found it in August 2023 and have been laughing my ass off ever since.
Laugh your ass off.
Feel free to use my name, which is Becca.
Love that.
Hola, Becca. Anywho, I have a short and sweet little banger of a confirmation story I'd like to share with you.
Yes, please.
My maternal grandmother passed away on the 17th of February 2025.
Right.
She had, I know, recent. I'm sorry, Becca. She had a lovely life and was as sweet as any grandma, or as we called her, G-ma, could be. She passed at the hospital with my grandpa, who we called Butch because he was too young to actually be called grandpa
Oh.
by her side. They were married for 67 years.
Wow.
That's mad,
Can't even
isn't it?
imagine.
Can you imagine?
We
I can't.
won't be with anyone for that long.
No, too late.
Thank God.
We had the wake, the funeral, and the night of the funeral, I got norovirus and some other bug, and I felt like I was dying for 2 days. After the said 2 days of hell, I was on my way back to Maryland, USA, from Pennsylvania, USA, with my husband and young son. That evening, after I put my son to bed and my husband was sleeping, I was at the kitchen sink washing dishes before I went to bed. It was 10:30 p.m. when I started this. I had my headphones on watching and listening to Lizzie McGuire, if you know, you know.
Oh, love.
True millennial vibes. I'm going about my business when my show pauses to tell me, "Call from Grandma," in a robotic
Oh.
voice. I felt everything slow down, and I felt like I turned in slow motion to look at my phone. After the recognition of what it had said, I sheepishly walked over to my cell phone and saw my goddamn deceased grandma calling me.
Oh, no. No, bitch.
I took a screenshot right before the caller hung up. I immediately texted my brother, who was with Butch, asking if everything was okay. Did he call by mistake? My brother said Butch nor he had called. My brother also checked my grandma's call log and no call was made. The call was from her cell phone. I then sat at the kitchen table with a smile on my face and tears streaming down my cheeks with happiness and sadness. I spoke to her briefly and got goosebumps as if something cold was all around me. As I was getting up from the table, I swear to Gaga, I felt a hand leave my back. Not your usual scary story, but I loved what I felt, which seemed to be a hello, I'm okay, and a goodbye from my grandma, as I was not able to see or speak to her before she passed away. I've attached the screenshot of the call, the date of the call, and her obituary card. Her name was Betty, and I miss her dearly. Love you, Grandma. Thanks for the laughs and comedy. This podcast and you ladies have helped me through some really tough days. I will scream if I ever hear this on my preciously sent-in story on the pod. Thank you all. Thank you for all you do, and keep the stories coming. Love you, Huns.
Oh, that's so nice,
isn't it? And
somebody I knew did that. Like, well, no, somebody rang me off someone's dead phone and forgot to tell me that they'd started using their phone. So I was like,
oh, really?
hello? And it's like, yeah. And I was like, you have to tell people.
What, they've used someone's dead phone?
Well, they use a dead person's phone.
That's outrageous.
Not someone's phone who's run out of battery. They,
That's mad.
yeah, but
Why?
I don't, because they were like, this is a better phone than mine.
Wow.
So I'm going to take this. But you, fine, do that. Just tell people that that's what you're going to do.
It's like a form of grave robbing, isn't it?
God, it behave.
Yeah,
Behaves bad.
Well, I think we should wrap it up there.
Right, as we get haunted, so you don't have to. Do you want to guess a tarot card?
Yeah.
Right, I'm not giving up on this telepathy thing.
Yeah.
So you've got one chance, and one chance only, to guess the
So
card.
you're going to go and look at it and then send
Shall we
it to
do
me?
it in the way that, or do you want to look at this and tell me which one to pick? And
No,
then,
you send it to me.
Okay.
So pick one and then send. Also, tell me, have I heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay, you've got a look on your face that it's the tower. Something's up.
It's not the tower.
Okay. Is it that fucking beggar outside the church?
The hermit. No, it's the devil.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't great. I don't know if we've ever pulled that
No, we
one.
have. It's the horny one.
The horny bit. What does that mean then?
Sex is coming to us all.
Stunning. Right. That sounded more like a threat than anything. We will see you next time. If you can't get enough, go to www.patreon.com/ghosthunts, where there is ghost hunts, bonus episodes, book clubs, the Huns at a Dock, Agony Huns. It's all there for you. We will see you
ready and waiting.
next time.
See you next week. We love you, Hans. Oh, by the way, just FYI, we've got a very special guest coming up next week.
Oh, we have.
You are in for a motherfucking treat.
Just you fucking
Just
wait.
you wait.
We'll see you there.
Bye, guys.
Bye.